another video. In this video, we will actually start the discovery. I'll go back to my notepad. So we are done with 3, right? And we are also done with 4, which was the infrastructure walkthrough. Okay, now we are actually in the 5th video where we'll be starting the application discovery service. We'll be using the service called ADS, or application discovery service. But what is this application discovery service going to do? What is that? What's in it for you? If I go back to the top, I said migration phases is going to be are going to be multiple phases, right? Assessment, discovery, inventory. First you understand the inventory, dependencies, right sizing, costing and all. So as part of the previous video, we saw what are the service and the servers that are deployed, the dependencies, which front-end server talks to the back-end servers, and so on. So we need, that's just 4 servers. It was pretty easy and straightforward. I knew it was from a template, so it didn't need much of a time for me to play around. But in a real migration, we need some tools that will fetch all the necessary details that we need about our source and give us in front of us so that we can review it. Because 2-3 servers, it's pretty easy, but when you have hundreds of servers for migration, for the assessment can alone go for 2 to 3 weeks. So that's why there is a separate service in AWS that is used only for assessment. That's called application discovery service, which will discover your workload, give us all the necessary details about operating system, the compatible kernels, what is the IP address, what's the size of the machine, and all that relevant information. Okay, so this is what is the tool that we'll be using, application discovery service. And you can just search for ADS. It opens up the tool. But one thing that you would notice is the application discovery service, when I'm trying to open, it will take me to a service called AWS Migration Hub. So where is my ADS, or what happened to my application discovery? It's not there yet. So what happens is all the migration related tools, that includes ADS or application migration service, or the sizing recommendations, and if you want some links that where you can download this tool, can you download an exe file for Windows, all the relevant information that you need part of your migration activity can be found from a centralized location or a centralized service called Migration Hub. AWS Migration Hub is where what you would need to complete and execute, or like start and execute all the migration related activities, part of this activity or part of this demo, or even in your real-time migration. So that's why if you see the Migration Hub, you will see it as a one destination for migration modernization. Everything that you have to do with regards to the migration can be done from this service called AWS Migration Hub. And the beauty of it is there is no charge for it. This is basically to execute the migration end to end, but you don't pay anything separately just for using the service. It's a free service. So you can start the discovery, migrate, as well as modernize. Everything can be done from the AWS Migration Hub itself. So that's why you see a lot of options. Discover tools are there, assessment tools are there, what migration strategy and the recommendations that you want to get from AWS. How do you orchestrate the entire workflow from step 1 to step 2 to step 3? Entire migration process can be managed from a single point of service in AWS. That's called AWS Migration Hub. But that's the beauty of the service, where, and they have also given it in the top-down approach. Like after the discovery and assessments are completed, when you're doing a migration, what are the application cluster that you want to migrate, and what are the updates that you want to make to those servers? Are there any tools that you want to use? The migration service, database migration service, all of it can be directly launched and accessed from here. So this is the Migration Hub, and as part of our first step, what we need to do is we have to create the discovery. Or when I say discovery, like we'll have to get or gather or collect some information about our existing infra, not just what we saw. I know what is the operating system, but I need to know more, much more details about my servers, right? So I go to the discovery and then I go to data collectors, and I have to install the discovery agent on my machines, um, so that they'll start pulling the information. As you can see, I have done some of it, so and they were all stopped. So I'll actually go ahead and start again. So first step to install the discovery agent is I need a user that has the necessary permissions to log in to these four servers and install the agent and start sending the data. So first thing what I do is I have to create a user, and then I need to have the security permissions to go ahead and install the agent. So if I go to the users, there's a user called ADS user. This was also created part of the migration. This ADS user, application discovery service user, has the necessary permissions to install this agent, as well as to, you can see AWS application discovery agent access. This person, ADS user, has this permissions. So now if I get the security credentials or the access key and password, I can go ahead and install the ADS on my machine. Okay, so I'm just copy access key and secret key. What is it? It is nothing but a username and password for programmatic access. What is programmatic access? Something that you can access into the servers, but you won't be able to log into the console. So I've just copied the username and the secret key, which is the password. So I'll stop it, or I'll just close it, and I'll go back to my users. So what I'm doing is I'm just saving the username and password on the notepad, so that it's easy for me to just copy and replace it wherever I need to. Okay, so now the first step is ready, right? The user is created. So ADS user and the security credentials, right? So we are done with it. Now the next thing is to install the ADS agent and enable the data transfer. With data transfer is capturing the server details, that includes the operating system's IP address and many other information about the server. This is not the migration, it's only the discovery. Okay, with this data you won't be able to create a new instance. It is just for assessment, only for assessment. Assess part, not the actual migration, right? So you got to be clear on that. Discovery, first phase discovery, not the migration. Okay, so I got the username and password or the access keys. So now I'll have to go ahead and install the agent. But before I install the agent, I also want to do something, because all this information that I'm capturing, I want to store it in a S3 bucket so that I can use another AWS service called AWS Athena to run SQL queries on the S3 buckets. So what is this for? Do you really need to do it? No, it's not mandatory, but it would be convenient if you use this tool so that you can get all the information, because you will be capturing hundreds of servers and tons of data, right? And to go around one by one to click on it and then check it, it can be a tedious task. So if you have an option that all the data that I'm capturing from my ADS is stored in a S3 bucket, and then I have my DBA who can just go ahead and keep running SQL queries on top of that data that is captured to get all the necessary information, that would make my life much easier, right? So I just go to the migration hub and go to the discovery tab. Data collectors in discovery agents, and there's a radio button, the toggle button that says Athena export. All I have to do is just enable it. Yes, I understand there will be some cost, and it will apply for AWS Amazon Kinesis Firehose for data transmission for real-time data. I'm okay with that. So what is it? By enabling this option, you can continuously save data collected by the agents to S3 and then you can explore the data using Athena. So it every second it keeps capturing the data from the server. It includes your network dependencies and so on. Once all the data is captured, you can just run the SQL queries on top of it. Okay, so I've started the Athena export. Now the data, or whatever the data I'll be capturing now, will be um, it will be fed into the AWS S3 buckets. So if I just open a duplicate tab, and if I just open S3, technically or as of now there shouldn't be any buckets. Oh yeah, okay, it's already started because I just enabled the discovery. So the AWS application discovery services, because I enabled Athena, it created a bucket. Now I will go ahead and enable the discovery itself on the machines. Okay, so we will see. Okay, you can see AWS application discovery service bucket does not have any content because no data has been captured so far. So let's go back to our instances, and to install the discovery agent I need to have three steps, or these are the three um, commands that we need to run. I'll just zoom in. I'll zoom in a little more. Okay. Right. So three commands. The first one is to download the agent. Okay, and the next is to so basically the agent gets downloaded as a compressed file. So and then you just unzip it, and then you install the agent. Install the unzipped package. Now here, so curl command will pull all the necessary files from this link. Tar command will unzip that file, and sudo bash install will install the file. But during the installation, it asks me for the username and password. So that's basically what I just saved it, the key ID and the secret key. Okay, that's it. We're good. Now I can just go ahead and run these three commands on all the four machines. Copy. Now I'll just minimize this. Enter, 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 and enter. Okay, great. So the file is downloaded. Let's go ahead and unzip it on all four. Done. And let's go ahead and install it on all the four machines. There we go. There we go. Done and done. Now we have logged into all the four servers that we are planning to migrate. We have installed the discovery agent using these commands, which I will again store it in our notepad for our reference, because I'll also be uploading this notepad as per the activity. So okay, there we go. To download the agent, unzip and install the package. So here it will be just the AWS key ID, because what I used may not be the same for you. Secret key. That's it. So this is the third command. So after this, we should start seeing the data being pulled into the discovery services. Okay, nothing has come yet. So it can take some time, guys, like, because, and as a best practice, we are expected to run the discovery for at least 7 days, because the accuracy will be better, the data accuracy, your CPU usage, memory usage. Currently these four servers are lying idle, right? I'm not using it except running this discovery agent. So if it is a production server, the usage pattern may differ. 9 to 5 during the business hours, the usage is going to be so high, At night, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, there's no users, so the pattern, the usage would be less. So we need to understand what is the usage of that server, how often is the peak hours, or what is the usage on the weekends. For all that, at least run it for 7 days, but for demo purpose, 15 to 20 minutes is good enough. But this is on the best practice. Okay, so keep that in mind. When you run 7 days, or at least 3 days, 3 to 5 days, we must run the discovery. Only then you will know the fluctuations, how, what is the peak usage, what's the minimum usage, what's the average usage. All those will be accurate when we run it for a longer period. Otherwise, the data will not be so accurate. There will be some inconsistency in the data, right? So I'll wait for the discovery agent to start sending the details of whatever it is capturing, and in the meantime, I'll go to the migration hub, I'll go to the data collectors, and you can see the 4 machines are already sending the data. It says collecting healthy, healthy, healthy. So, and it's also captured the IP addresses of the 4 servers, what is the registration time, what is the last health, heartbeat, and all the data will also be exported to Athena, which means they'll be stored in S3. From there we can run the Athena query. So yeah, so I'll wait for some time, maybe for half an hour or 1 hour, for some data to be populated in the discovery service. And maybe in the next video we'll just play around with Athena, and then I'll give you a walkthrough of what the other features are there in the migration hub, and the video after that we'll start the migration. Thank you.